So it can either be 0 or 7. It will be 0 when Q is equal to 0, and it will be 7 when Q is greater than 0. Do you understand? So here now our Q is equal to 0, right? So everything here will be 0. Do you understand? So everything here will be 0. This one will be 0 plus. And from our purchase cost now, based on what was given us in the question, our purchase cost will be 10Q if our Q is between 0 to 3. So if you have to populate the 10Q here, that was 10 multiplied by Q, right? 10 multiplied by Q. Our Q here was 0. So automatically everything here will be 0. So for the next one now, our setup cost is 7 because our Q is greater than 0. So this one will be 7 plus. Because for my purchase now, because my Q is still between 0 to 3, so I'm still going to maintain this expression here, 10Q. So 10 multiplied by 1, right? That's 17, right? So for the next one, I have 7 plus 10 multiplied by 2. That's 27. 7 plus 10 multiplied by 3, 37. Now, my Q is greater than 3. And from the expression in my question, my purchase cost will be this expression if Q is greater than 3. Please, let's not forget that. If Q is greater than 3, let us not forget this if we are giving the question. So, the implication of that is the expression we've been using before will change to this here. So 7 plus 30 plus 20 into bracket. My Q now is 4. That's 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. 1 multiplied by 20 is 20. 20 plus 30, 50. 50 plus 7, 57. So we replicate the same thing here. That will go 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3, that's 2. 2 multiplied by 20, that's 40. 40 plus 30, 70, 77. So the next one now is 7 plus 30 plus 20 into bracket 6 minus 3, right? That's 6 minus 3, 3. 3 multiplied by 20, that's 60. 60 plus 30, 90. 90 plus 7, 97. Sorry. So that's 97. So we've populated the purchase and the setup cost. Now we need to get the cost of our inventory considering each of this quantity. Cost of inventory considering each of this quantity. Do you understand? And after then we consider our optimal cost. That's the minimum cost of each inventory. Do we get? So right now we proceed into populating the table. So just the same way we did it the other time. Since from the schematic, I will try to draw it again. This is my x2, period 2, right? And this is my period 3. So, right, I have this. What is entering my x2? My inventory 2, right? I'm producing this quantity to meet this demand. What is coming out of period 2? Inventory going to 3, that's inventory 3, and D3, right? So I can say here that my x2 plus what? My q2 is expected to be equal to d2 plus my what? x3. Now making my x2 the subject of the formula is equal to x3 plus what? d2 plus d2 minus q2. So please, our x2 is equal to d3 plus d2 minus our q2. So Let's take note of that. Now we proceed into populating this table. I know that we are still to what's it called now? Use the formula of xi plus 1 is equal to my setup cost. That will be E2. Let me just go straight to it. Plus B2 Q2 plus my H2 my X3 plus my F1 my X3 my D2 minus Q2, right? So our D3 plus D2 minus Q2 is the same thing our X2. So whatsoever we're actually getting here, to actually obtain the cost of it, to obtain the cost of it, we are going to refer to our first table because we have our X2 here. Imagine having our X, after our populating our figure here, and we are obtaining to be 2. You understand? That will be X2 is equal to 2. We trace when X2 is equal to 2 here. What is the cost? The cost is 55. We just populate it here. Do you understand? So that's how it works. So let's go straight to the first one. When X3 is equal to 0. When S3 is equal to 0. When S3 is equal to 0 and Q2 is equal to 0. Let's quickly populate that. That's our f of what? X3 is equal to my purchase and my this thing here is 0, and my setup plus my holding here is what? 0 plus F1. My X3 is 0. My demand, I need to get my demand. My demand here is what? The demand in period 2 is what? Is 2. So I need to populate 2 here. Minus my Q is what? 0. You understand? So is equal to what? F of 1, 2. So when X2, because everything here is what? Is the same thing as X2. You understand? When X2 is equal to 2, what's the answer? When S2 is equal to 2, what do we get? 55. So our answer here is 55. So here we come and populate 55. Do you understand? So to the next one now. When what? When X3 is equal to 0 and Q2 is equal to what? 1. Our f of X3 is equal to our purchase and setup is 17 at that point. Our holding cost is 0 plus F1. My S3 here is 0 plus my demand is 2, right? My quantity is 1. That's F1 is 1, right? Plus 17, right? So when F1 is when X2 is equal to 1, f of X, when X2 is equal to 1, so we find when X2 is equal to 1, what's the cost? When X2 is equal to 1, what's the cost? It's 34. The cost is 34. Can we see? The cost is 34. So this one will be 17 plus 34. So we go to the next one. When X3 is equal to 0 and what? Q2 is equal to 2. So f of X3 is equal to our purchase and setup cost at this point is 27 plus our holding cost is 0 plus F1 0 plus what? 2 minus what? 2, right? So so when S2 is equal to what? When S2 is equal to 0, this 27. When S2 is equal to 0 plus when S2 is equal to 0, f of X2 is 23 at that point. So it's 23. That's a 40. That's 50. So on to the next. When when X3 is equal to 0, Q2 is equal to what? 3. F of x 3, right? Yes. So the setup and holding cost at this point is 37 plus setup and holding cost is 37. That's a plus my holding cost is 0 at that point still. That's F1 0 plus 2 minus 3. So F1 minus 1 plus 37. So when x2 is minus 1, do I have anything like when x2 is minus 1 here? My x2 only span from 0 to 6, so it does not hold. So this render all this expression as invalid. If you perform the same operation for when q is equal to 4, 5, and 6, we actually obtain similar results which are invalid. Do you understand? So let's go to the next one. Sorry. 3 multiplied by 1 is 3, not 1. And nobody corrected me on that. So it's 3. So 3 plus 76, that's 79. So this will be 79. So let's go to the next one. When x3 is equal to 1, q2 is equal to 0, f of x3 is equal to, our purchase and setup cost at that point is 17, plus our holding cost is 3, plus f1 1 plus what? 2 minus what? My q is 1 at that point. At this point my q is 1, so 1 plus 20. That's plus 20. That's 20 plus, that's 2. When x2 is equal to 2, what's my cost there? 55. That's 55. That's 75. So let's go to the next. When S3 is equal to 1 and Q2 is equal to 2. S3 is equal to, our setup and purchase at this point is 27. Our holding cost is 3 plus F1. That's 1 plus what? 2 minus 2. That's 30 plus that's 1. So when x2 is equal to 1, when x2 is equal to 1, what's our cost at that point? That's 34. That's 34. That's 30 plus 34. That's 64. So that's 64. So let's go to the next one. When x3 is equal to 1, q2 is equal to 3, right? F of x3 is equal to, the purchase and setup is at this point 37. 37 plus 3 plus f1, that's 1 plus 2 minus 3, that's a 30, 40 plus 0. When s2 is equal to 0, when s2 is equal to 0, my cost there is 55. That's 40 plus 55. When x2 is equal to 0, when s2 is equal to 0 is 23, not 34. 23. when x2 is equal to 0, 23. So 23 plus 44, that's 53. 63. That's 63. So if we perform the operation for this, let me just do this. So when x3 is equal to 1 and q2 is equal to 4, f of x3 will be equal to, our purchase and setup at this point is 57, right? That's 57 plus 3 plus 57 plus 3 plus f1, that's 1 plus 2 minus 4. 57 plus 3, that's 60. 60 plus, that's this minus 1. When x2 is minus 1, do we have it here? We do not have it here. So the fact that we do not have it render this invalid. So if you perform the same operation for the other ones, you actually see it follow the same pattern. So for this, because of our time, I won't be showing us the calculation for these other parts. I will just assume you understand already. So I will just go to the next period, which is period 3. So having populated all this table, which I believe you should be able to get, after having populated all this table, the next thing is for us to obtain the optimal cost. And what's the optimal cost? Is the minimum cost. So for this row now, for when s is equal to 0, the minimum cost here is what? The minimum cost here is 50. So we write it here. 50 at what quantity? At quantity 2. So for the next one, what's the minimum cost? The minimum cost here is 63. At what quantity? At quantity 3. So the next one now is, what's the minimum cost? The minimum cost here is what? 77. At what period? What? At quantity what? Quantity 3. The next one here is what? The minimum cost is 109. No, 100 at period what? At what quantity? At quantity 4. So the next one here is what? The minimum cost here is what? The minimum quantity cost here is what? Sorry, 123, 124. That's 123. 123. At what quantity? Quantity 5. So we are done populating the. So right now we proceed to the next table for period 3.